everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is for all my beginner travel CNAs out there. You watched my video about being a CNA, all of that. Now you're ready to travel, right? Right. So let's get into everything that comes with traveling as a CNA. Before I get into this lengthy CNA travel video, I want to just plug in real quick that this video is sponsored by HSIAlife.com. It's an online store that sells bras and undies. And let me tell you guys right now, I'm loving them. I'm gonna share a little bit about the bras, what I love about them, so stay tuned. Okay guys, right here I'm rocking Shia's Petal Vine Yellow Lace Underwire Bra in the color Cadmium Yellow. This color is so pretty and bright. It's very soft and comfortable. The underwire holds my heavy double D's up very well. It's lightweight and breathable, and it has adjustable straps in the back and a U-shaped back. Okay, I'm loving the floral pattern on this bra. It's giving very much vintage. This is Shia's Blossom Black Underlined Lace Bra in the color Black Contrast Apricot. One is very comfortable as well, has adjustable straps, a U-shaped leotard back for support, and a wide band to strengthen your back. Last but not least, I'm rocking Shia's Blossom Purple Underlined Lace Bra in the color purple. I'm really loving all of these bras, and I will definitely be wearing them during my next assignment because I know with working long shifts, I won't have any spillage, which is what I have a lot when working these assignments. I will have all three linked in my description box if you would like to purchase. They are all on sale and they are super affordable. Let me just say that. I'm going on my third contract right now. I'm still pretty new to being a travel CNA, but I feel like I have a lot of insight. If you are new to my channel and you want to know a little bit of background about me, I've been a CNA for about 2 years. I am from New York City. I've only worked in New York City at a nursing home here. My first travel assignment was upstate New York, and it was a disaster. I will get into how to avoid what I went through for my first assignment a little later on in the video, but that's just a little background about me. Let's start off with, how do you become a CNA? How did I even find out about being a travel CNA? Let's start with that. I first learned about being a travel CNA because I've seen a lot of travel nurses. I remember being on Instagram and seeing all these travel nurses and they're making so much money, and I'm like, wait, if there's travel nurses, I wonder if there's such thing as a travel CNA. Good old Google, I did my research and I found articles and stuff on travel CNA, and from there I just went like deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole of being a travel CNA. I've looked on everything from Reddit and read forums and did all my research, and it all led me to Facebook. I really wasn't on Facebook when I first learned about being a travel CNA. Facebook was like a really old school type of, social media. I have friends and family on there. I barely get on it. So I was like, oh gosh, Facebook. But you need to have a Facebook. Get a Facebook. Facebook has at least, I would say I have about 15 groups. That Facebook and those groups are your best friend if you want to become a travel CNA. I'm telling you that now. I will have every group that I personally am joined to in my description box. I'll have a lot of information in my description box. So make sure after this video, you go and click there. I'll have all the groups, the names, and the links so you can join them. Next, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have all of your paperwork together. You will need an updated resume, your driver's license / state ID, your social security card. All of these are copies. Your copy of your medical license, obviously, as a CNA in your state, your immunization records, a physical within the last 12 months and must state that you are able to work without restrictions, your TB within the last 12 months, a drug screen. So, a lot of my, smokers up in here, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, in New York City it's legal, but they still give you a drug test. I'm letting you know that now. You do with that information what you want to do. Make sure you have all your paperwork, because you don't want to apply to an agency and then they're asking for paperwork and you have to go through this, and that. Now, there are some agencies that help you with that are so nice, so cool. They help you with that. They take your time. They send you to get stuff like that. Then you have some that are just pretty much like, you know what? Yeah, you're not ready. we're gonna go on to the next person that has all their paperwork and can just, you know, hurry up and fly out and do this contract. I just want to kind of rewind a little bit. I did forget to mention, this is probably like the first thing I was supposed to mention. I forgot. You have to be a CNA you have to at least have been a CNA for 6 months to a year in order to be a travel CNA. I told you guys everything what pertains to being a CNA in my first video. I cried on my first day. It was horrible on my first day. Now, imagine that happening. It'll be 20 times worse when you're a traveler. Why? Because they don't train you as a traveler. You don't get trained like you're working as a staff job in your city, in your home state, your hometown. It's not like that. You're a traveler, they do not train you. They train you for about 1 day. Lucky if you even get trained for 1 day. And they throw you to the wolves. Because why? You're supposed to be experienced. You're supposed to know how to handle situations with a difficult resident, or, you know, a resident that doesn't want to eat, or a resident that is total. You're supposed to know all these things. I don't recommend it. And then a lot of the, you know, agencies will not accept you for a contract if you are a new CNA, and that's just the reality of it. So yeah, join the Facebook group. You got all your documents together. You want to travel. What's next? What's next? To travel in different states, you need to have a license in that state. You can't just go and travel to Virginia, Maine, New Hampshire, South Dakota. You can't travel to these places without a license to work in that state. So what do you need to do? So I linked a few websites below that literally give you every state requirements as far as how to get a license in that state. So thankfully, all you gotta do is click on that link and follow the directions. Now, I will say that some states do cost, some don't. What I recommend as a new traveler, try to apply and get your license to all the free states first. Some of them you can do by email, like you'll go on the website, you'll fill out whatever you have to fill out. You can email them, you know, whatever you need to email them, and then they'll send you confirmation back saying, okay, you're licensed in this state. Most, I would say, when it comes to a license, is $300, and that's Alaska. That's like the highest I believe I've seen to get a license. Alaska, $300 to work in Alaska. Yes. Now, I know during the COVID situation, a lot of states were giving out emergency license where you wouldn't have to go through all of that. They would just grant you one and you can work there. I don't know if they're doing that anymore. Some do, some don't. But yeah. Now, let me just say, a lot of the desirable places that you want to go are, to me, the hardest ones to get into. Like, everybody wants to go to Cali. Everybody wants to go to Cali, the Sunshine State. You know, so when you're not working, you can go to the beach or you can go see Hollywood. Great. It is not easy to get a California license. You have to actually be in California to get licensed in California, because you have to get your fingerprints done in California. So if you're all thinking like, I'm going to jump on Cali, I'm going to jump on Miami, just know that some of them are a little bit difficult to get. You got to go through things to get to them. So I recommend just starting out with the non-desirable, don't come for me, the non-desirable states that, you know, like the states that are far, far away, where, you know, in small towns and stuff like that. Start off with those, because those are free, those are easy, and you'll more than likely get chosen for a contract there. Because you got your license immediately. I would say before you apply to any agencies, work on that first. That's the first thing you need to work on. After you get your paperwork, work on that next. Me, I wasn't really picky of where I wanted to work. I didn't say like, oh, I want to go to, you know, there's a lot of states that I still want to get to, and I'm gonna get there in due time. I'm not really rushing to like go anywhere specific. For me, it was just about getting the, you know, free ones out the way, finding contracts with those. I wasn't picky. As long as you had housing, I'll take the contract. That's it. Now what you want to do is start looking for agencies. There are a ton of agencies, a lot of agencies. I have all of them linked in my description box. Now, I did get this, and I'm going to give credit. I'm not going to just say I just found these on my own. I did take this from one of the Facebook groups. They have a screenshot of 2 of the companies on there, to most of the agencies on there. I can't find the person's name on Facebook. I apologize. So if you're watching this video, do not be mad, text me. But I'm going to link all the agencies below, and I'm going to go back and look for this person on Facebook, because I believe this person is, I think, one of the moderators for the group, and I want to give them credit. So I'm going to link their name below just so I let you know who I got the information from, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm taking stuff out of the group and like probably pretending like I'm just fine, like, you know, like I got this information from my head. So yeah, but luckily in the group I got all the agencies, well, most of the up-to-date agencies. That was what the post said, and I linked all that in my description box. And then also when you join the groups, you will find that there. So you want to go through each agencies. The agencies, they all have phone numbers. They also have websites. So if you see a agency in my description box, you can Google it, and it'll pull up a website. But you can definitely call them. It's easier to just call them, see what they say. Usually what I did before, I would just fill out, because they have websites and you can fill out your name, your phone number, your email, and they'll call you. So you can do either or. You can call them, or you can fill out, you know, your information on their site, and they'll call you and just discuss, like, you know, contracts, what they have available. Also, they have websites where you can actually look at different contracts that they have. Like, I know AUREUS Healthcare, for example, it's a really popular travel nursing agency, very popular. Not my fave, because I feel like it's hard to get a recruiter. Like, it's hard, and it shouldn't be, but it is, because I guess they're so popular that I feel like they take on too many workers, and they don't have enough recruiters. So I'll be talking to a recruiter, and then I won't hear back from them. I'm like, hello, you know, or if they have this thing on their site where you can put a thumbs up if you're interested in the contract, and somebody's supposed to call you, and nobody ever does. So I'm not a big fan of AUREUS Healthcare. I just gave up, because I feel like the bigger the agency is, the more it's just, I feel like it's a lot for them to handle, and they don't get to everybody. So I tried, and then I just gave up. But AUREUS Healthcare is one of like the top ones, the top big dogs. And they have a website. They actually show you how much you can make from a contract, where it's located. So you can say, oh, I'm licensed in Maine. They're paying $2,000 a week. Boom, I want it. But then it'll be hard to get in contact with the recruiter. I'm just pointing that out, and I'm just warning you now. But yeah, so some of the websites, some of the companies, most of them actually have websites. I will try my best to link the websites as well as the phone numbers. But if you just see the phone numbers, that means that I probably didn't get a chance to update it with the websites. You can just Google and then look at the websites, or you can call them. Some contracts offer housing, some don't. I recommend taking the ones that offer housing, because it's more money in your pocket. You're not paying rent. If you're just a traveler, like you just don't have a steady place to live, you just travel, okay, great. But if you have an apartment or a house wherever you live, you're gonna have to pay mortgage on that, or rent on that, or, you know, if you have an apartment where you're gonna have to pay rent on that and rent when you go on your travel assignment. So I recommend trying to get a agency that offers housing. I don't know, I got lucky, and I think I got lucky because of my horrible first experience, but all three of the contracts I've had all had housing included. I don't know how I got lucky, but it did. And let me say, they're not that rare, but it's hard to find. And when you do find it, it gets snatched so fast. So you need to be fast. Like, you need to give the recruiter a decision. Like, yes, I want it. If you do have to pay for housing, you do have to pay for housing. You know, you do the best you can, because you still make good money. You just have to be paying a little bit to that rent. But they have a lot of websites that help you find housing. Like, a lot of agencies help you find them. Some of them let you fend for yourself. Some of them are like, you have to come prepared. Like, I don't find your housing, I don't do any of that, I just get you the job. Some of them are like that, so don't be shocked. But some of them actually help you. They actually have other staff members that help you find a house, tell you how much it is, all of that. And Advantis Medical is one of those people. That's why I love them so much, because they help you. I'm telling you, I've worked with agencies that's like, we don't find housing for you, but anyway, so about this job, and it's just like, yeah, great, but like, where am I gonna live? Like, that's another stress you gotta think about. They have this place called Furnish Finders, this app. I tried it, I didn't really like it that much, but I know a lot of nurses use it and they find great places on there. Make sure you always have backup housing. If you do get a housing, make sure you always have backup, because people will back out the last minute and then you're homeless. Not homeless, but homeless in the state that you're working in. Now, some of them offer extended hotels. That's obviously when you stay at a hotel for a longer time, and sometimes the hotel gives you a discount. And in extended stay hotels, they have an oven, a stove. It's like a house, it's not just like a hotel with a microwave. So that's another option. You can stay at an extended stay hotel. Or if you're staying at a regular hotel, which I don't recommend, because what are you really going to eat? You're going to be eating a lot of fast food, and like little quick meals. Me personally, I have to have a hot meal. To each its own. But if you do stay at a hotel, you can actually like talk to the hotel staff, let them know you're a travel CNA, travel nurse, you know, you're staying for this amount of days. You want to know if you could set up some type of discount where you could stay for a good 13 weeks. You know, that's another way of getting housing for your contract. Basically, it's just a housing you find on your own, furnish finders, the agency will help you find housing, a hotel. Some people have RVs, they live out of that. Some people sleep in their car. I mean, I've read the stories and posts, you know, not everybody, but I've heard. So there's a lot of different ways, but you got to try to, you know, fend for yourself in a way. If you find an agency like me that helps you with everything, God bless you. And I will bless you today because I will leave their website in my description box. Now, in Travel CNA, most of the contracts are 13 weeks, most of them. I haven't really seen a contract that was more than 13 weeks. I also recommend if you're new, try to get an 8-week one just to get your feet wet. 13 weeks, it may seem fast, but like when you're at a contract that is absolutely terrifying and absolutely horrible, it feels like 7 years, trust me. So try to get an 8-week contract if you're like new, so you could just get your feet wet. Money, make sure you have money saved. First contract, they paid for my flight. I didn't have to pay for anything. They told me, you know, they gave me my flight information, basically. You have some companies that will pay for it up front, and you have some that won't pay for it at all. And then you have some that will reimburse you. My agency is the ones that reimburse you. So you have to have money up front, because if you don't, how are you going to get to your assignment? You need to, and then again, you don't get paid until 2 weeks into your contract. So you know, you need to make sure you have money to survive for that 2 weeks. Okay, let's talk about payment, because that's why you're watching this, right? You don't want to be a staff CNA and you want to make the money. Payment. Now, the reason why travel CNAs make as more than staff is because of that stipend, that good old stipend. If you don't know what a stipend is, it's untaxed money. A contract, okay, so you'll go to a facility and they'll pay $15 an hour, and you might think, oh my God, that's so low. $15 an hour, that is low. But it's $15 an hour, and you'll get about guaranteed 48 hours. Most of the companies is 48 hours. So you'll be making about $600 that's taxed, right? $600 taxed, mostly $650, whatever. Then they add on that stipend. They add on that meal stipend, and they add on that housing stipend. So if you're not housed at the facility, which includes housing, then you'll just get a meal stipend. The meal stipend could go from any price that they choose. The most I've gotten was like $500 for meals. So obviously I'm not eating $500 of groceries a week. So whatever I don't spend on groceries, that's my money. So when you get like 600 plus, that pushes up your income. And then you can also do overtime. So yeah, I'm guaranteed 48 hours, but if I like the facility and the work is not that bad, the workload I can handle, some of these jobs, they let you work as much as 70 hours a week. You can work 70 hours if you want, you know, and you may be like, oh my God, 70 hours. But like I said, if you're comfortable with the contract, the workload isn't bad, you have help, it's a great environment, you feel like you can do it, you could be doing 70 hours plus that untaxed stipend. A lot of back and forth I would see like about low pay. When COVID hit, I wasn't working at a nursing home when COVID hit. I started working that November, and COVID hit in that March. And I know that it was super high for the rates. They were like $2,000 and some change a week, and pretty hard to find the ones that's $2,000 up a week. You know, I wouldn't say settle, but if it's better than what you're making in your hometown, why not? For my non-drivers, I'm trying to hit everything here. I'm a non-driver, I'm a New Yorker. If you're new to my channel, not every New York don't drive. There's parts of New York where you need to drive if you've never been to New York. So I don't want you coming thinking like, nobody drives here, everyone takes the subway. No. It's good to have a car, but if you're like a city girl like me, it's stupid. When I first was sorting out like contracts, I had a lot of agents, recruiters telling me, oh, you'll never find a contract if you can't drive. That's the whole reason. Like, I don't think you could be a travel CNA because you can't drive. And it's like, what? And I got discouraged because I was like, oh my God, I can't drive. You know, because they're like, we send a lot of our people to like rural areas, and you're gonna need a car. There's no Ubers, there's no bus, there's no subways, there's nothing close by. And you know, and that is true. Now I'm not gonna deny that is true. A majority of your contracts will be in like small towns that nothing is really going on. Nothing is really, and that's why they need people. Me, I kind of finessed it in a way where I stayed on the campus. So it worked out for me because every contract I took, housing was included. So I lived there, I worked there. Food places was like the last place I was at, which was in Whitewater, Wisconsin. They had a Walmart that was like 25 minutes away walking. So I would walk there. Me and my coworker would walk there. And it really wasn't that long. It was like 1, 2, 3. Then they had a lot of like bars and like restaurants, pizza shops, like on the strip of where I worked. And then, you know, the facility offered food for us, like dinner, lunch, breakfast. We had free drinks, everything. So I didn't really need to go anywhere really, except for when I went home, someone from the facility had to drive me home, and I took an Uber going to the facility. So it wasn't that small, but it was pretty small where like I couldn't really go anywhere unless I had a car. But it didn't bother me because I was there to work. As long as I had food, a roof over my head, and I felt safe, that's all I cared about, making my money and going home. And make a friend. If you're a new traveler CNA, make a friend, because I made a friend and we went everywhere together just to be on the safe side, especially being a person of color. If you are traveling, you need to be careful. That's another thing I'm going to get into in a little bit, but you need to be careful because you're going to these states that do not like our kind, are not used to seeing our kind because they're stuck in their ways. They've only seen their race all their life. So you need to be careful when you're traveling, and definitely make a friend when you get to your assignment. I don't care if you're those make a friend, because you're going to need each other. Okay? You're going to need each other. You're going to need each other when you have to walk to a Walmart or walk to a blah, blah, blah that's a few minutes away if you don't drive. And if they do drive and you don't drive, it'll be nice because they can drive you. So I would say make a friend. That leads me to my next travel buddies. On the CNA group forums, they have travel buddy information. You can look up, you know, they have people like, oh, anybody want to travel, blah, blah, blah. And then some people say, oh, me, I want to travel. Be careful. I would say that because you don't know who someone's pretending to be on Facebook. You don't know. Be careful. That's all I'm going to say. Me, I just kind of went on my own. I went to the assignment by myself. I didn't, you know, I just went there alone. It was very scary being away from home, being in a state that I didn't know, you know, living somewhere I've never lived before amongst people, but I did it. And I met a great traveler. We're great friends, and he's actually at the next assignment that I am on my way to in a week. So that's my new travel buddy. And I didn't find him through Facebook. I found him just like at the facility that I went to work at. And from there, we just decided that, hey, you want to be travel buddies? Like maybe the next contract you take, we could take it together. We're like a package deal now. So like we kind of work with the same recruiter, and, you know, we try to get the same contracts together. Yeah, so I have a travel buddy now, and I didn't find him. We found each other. But that's how I would have preferred it to be, because I don't really trust people to be on Facebook and be like, oh, I'll travel with you, because you don't know people. I got to know my coworker as I lived there, and he lived there also. So we got to know each other, each other's likes, dislikes, just each other's personality to see if we even want to be friends and travel together. To be online and to just tell a stranger I'll travel with you, and then you guys meet and you guys share an apartment together and are roommates, and then you realize, I don't really like you. I don't really like you. I have a pet peeve. You do stuff I don't like. You do stuff I don't like. And then it's a whole another thing. And then it's an argument. And then, listen, be careful. I've seen and I've heard a lot of things on the news of, there was this one girl, she got jumped by her friends in Mexico. Things like that make me really nervous to just travel with people, especially in a place that you're not familiar with. You don't have any family out there. You know what I mean? So just be careful. Use your best judgment. But I would prefer going alone and trying to make a friend out there, and then you guys can become travel buddies. But if you're someone that is open to it, Facebook has a whole bunch of that stuff, and you can find that there. So that's, or if you have a friend, like a real life friend that you, as a CNA as well, you guys can be travel buddies, and you guys can split the rent on a housing, and it makes everything easier, and split food, and, you know, make as much money as you want. If you have a child, if you're a mom, or you're a dad, and you have kids, you have a husband, you have a family, you can travel with them. There are contracts that allow you to travel with them. Now, if you get your own apartment and they offer you a stipend, they can't tell you who can stay in your apartment. You're living there. So if you want to have your whole, say if you have 3 kids, if you want to have your 3 kids and your husband and your dog there, you can do that. As long as the apartment allows you to have a pet, and you can do that. No one can say no, because that's your own personal apartment for the time being while you're there. But usually when you live on campus, some of them don't allow you to have guests or visitors, or some of them have rules. I remember I was going to take one contract in Colorado, and they said I can bring a significant other, but you know, obviously no smoking, and they couldn't stay for that long, or they can only stay for like 2 nights, or something like that, 2 nights a week, and we had to be really quiet. We couldn't like make any noise, you know what I mean? So they said, oh, you can always go to a hotel and stuff like that. To me, I just didn't like all the rules that came with having my significant other there. So I just told him not to come. My first, like one of the contracts I was gonna take, but I didn't take it. This contract that I'm actually taking, I can bring my significant other, not to live for the whole contract, but to visit. So I'm happy about that, because the one in Wisconsin, I never asked them, but I don't think I could have bought a significant other there. My people of color, my black people, I'm a black woman, so I'm going to speak on this. When you go into the Midwest and you go into the South, like I said, you're a person of color. A lot of these older elders haven't really seen a lot of, you know, people of color, black people. So just keep that in mind. Luckily on Facebook, they have a black only travelers group page, and I will link that below. And it kind of helps other black women and black men what facilities to stay away from, what states to stay away from, but not even the states, mostly just the facilities, because there's some facilities that can be really racist, and there's some that aren't in the same state. So do not worry about that. I got you. They have like a list of facilities to stay away from as far as like racism. As a travel CNA, you're going to deal with a lot of jealousy. Not all, but some of the staff. And even for me, like this last contract I had, it was a lot of, you travelers, you agency people, you travelers, you agency people. That's all I heard. That's all I heard. When I did something that they didn't like, which was me speaking up for myself when I felt like I was being treated unfair, then it would be, oh, these travelers, these agency people, you know? You're going to get a lot of that because they're jealous. Especially like the regular staff. They're jealous. They don't want to travel for whatever reason. You're obviously making, as you know, more money than them. So they might give you a hard time. They will. And I'm letting you know that now, so you have to have patience or have like an even temper, because they're gonna, you know, I haven't experienced it too much, but a little bit at my last contract. If you have a bad contract, don't give up. You know, don't say, I mean, if you want to, that's your prerogative. If you feel like it's not for you, great. But I'm letting you know that now, not every contract is gonna be like that. You're gonna have some that suck. You're gonna have some that are amazing. You're gonna have some that suck and you wanna leave early. You're gonna have some that you are having such a great time, you want to extend it. You want to stay longer. So it's a journey. It's not something that's like you're just gonna get amazing A1 contracts. No, it's a roller coaster ride. You know. But as I said, if you feel like you cannot handle it anymore, people are being outwardly racist towards you, the staff are really mean and rude, you're being way overworked, you can't do it anymore, you can end your contract. Me personally, I didn't deal with any like if you end your contract, some of the companies, I know if you end it, you might owe them money. I really haven't experienced that. I don't know too much about it. I know when I ended my contract with Advantis Medical, I didn't get anything bad happen, but I know that I was told to at least try to finish this contract, because I think if I end this contract, I don't know if I can work with them again. I'm not sure. That wasn't my recruiter's words, but I think it was alluding to please, you know, finish this contract, because if you don't, I don't think I'll be able to work with them, because it's like every contract we give you, you cut short, you know, and that's kind of looks bad on the agency. So yeah, I would say if you get a contract and you don't like it, try your best to fight through it, because it does look bad when you cut a contract. and that company may not want to work with you, and you may have to pay some type of fees. Like if they pay for your flight and stuff like that, they may take that money back. I've heard of some companies doing that. Mine did not, but I have to finish this contract that I do with them next. And luckily it's only 8 weeks, so I definitely can do 8 weeks. So just keep in mind when you're getting on a contract to make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Ask questions as far as how much the pay is. Make sure that's clear. How many CNAs are on the floor? Make sure that's clear. What are the hours? How am I gonna, how can I pick up shifts? Can I pick up shifts? Is it a place where they've never seen black people before? Will I experience racism? Because not the recruiters, you have to understand, they make their money by recruiting you. They make their money by getting you a contract. So they're not going to always tell you everything. My first recruiter didn't tell me everything. She lied about everything. Yeah, there's Ubers, there's Lyfts there. Yeah, all of that's there. I went there, there wasn't a damn Uber or Lyft in sight. I was stranded. So they'll lie just to get you to sign that document. You got to put you first. Make sure you ask those questions. And if not, make sure you have a great lawyer. Because if something in that contract they said that they were supposed to do and it didn't do it when you got there, you can sue. Period. So make sure you have a good lawyer, or make sure that you read your contract very well before you take. Don't just, I want to travel, I'm just going to pick this contract, and then it's a horrible contract, and then you have to quit. No. I want you to learn from my mistakes, because I was like that. I was so excited to travel, I just jumped into anything that said free housing. Free housing, this much a month, I'm good. Until I got there and realized my recruiter lied about mostly everything. So that is all for this video. Do not mind this band-aid on my neck. I had a little procedure done, but I'm okay. I may talk about it, I may not on my channel. Let's see how I feel, but I'm okay. But that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I gave you a lot of insight into being a travel CNA. I try to give you guys as much information as I could. A lot of the information I did get from doing my own research and finding the Facebook groups. Everything is linked in my description box, as much as I can link, so just go crazy in there. Shout out to everybody that's made groups on Facebook, because you really helped a lot of travel CNAs. I don't know all the moderators' names. It's so big, I don't know. If I did, I wish I could name you guys personally on my channel. But I just want to say shout out to you for making that group, to building a great large community of people that just want to increase their income with such a very hard and thankless job. I will see you guys in my next video. Give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to share it with all your CNA friends if they're new. And thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.